Welcome back to Nationalist China. We are, I believe, at the 4th installment of this series, and we're going to be continuing our fight against the Japanese. Now, in case you have missed the previous episodes or you're starting this series just now, the Japanese have managed to land in Shandong, which is this province over here, taking this port because it was undefended, because I'm an idiot. I'm a complete dork, and I decided to leave it unprotected, it seems. The Japanese are attempting a few landings in the south portion of our country, but they're not really having any success with that. We managed to form the United Front and take over the Ma clique and the Yunnan sort of province down here, and also the Shanxi clique up here. And now me and the Chinese Communist Party, along with, interestingly enough, the support of the Germans and the Soviets, who have sent in divisions to help us out if we can go to our diplomacy. We see that the Germans have sent volunteers and the Soviets have also sent volunteers to us, which was really unexpected. Well, I was maybe expecting a little bit of Soviet support, but definitely not Germans, and that's really helping us out fairly greatly. The reasoning that they sent in troops to support us is because I have a historical AI on, and that I feel like makes for more interesting things that happen, even though it might lead to certain situations like this where, for example, China is a little bit too strong. So the Japanese are attacking us in QingDao, which is this province down here, and it doesn't look like they're doing too well because it's only a probing attack with one division. Later, they will definitely send more troops. We have 11 divisions in the front down here, and the Japanese have a local superiority against us. I definitely don't want them to be able to capture QingDao. The reasoning for that is because right now the Japanese have a little bit of a limit of supplies they can bring in from this naval base, so I don't want extra supplies from this naval base to allow them to land more troops down here. And so for that matter, I'm just redeploying as many troops as possible to that front. This one. I will send this one extra division down here. And also I believe I will... actually, I will start to recruit a few units, and they will switch their deployment zone to this front in Shandong. And so I'm just continuing the fight. It's at speed 3, which is fair enough. And right now the Japanese have starting to, break in a few spots in the line, but not exactly in as many spots as I would like them to be breaking in. We're still putting pressure against them all over the line because we have a pretty huge numerical advantage, being, of course, China, and also having the support of the fairly well-equipped Soviets and Germans that are making their moves. So as you can see, the Japanese do have a lot of trouble across the line, and if we do help out the Communist Party troops that are actually no, they're not Communist Party troops, they're just expeditionary forces that are attacking from this territory, we will be able to at least force back the enemy from this side of the map. Now, looks like I cannot make any more attacks on this side of the river because, of course, the river will give them a lot of bonus to defense. These 9 Japanese divisions are almost out of organization, so I will send in some more help in the form of a cavalry division from this side and some infantry division from here. The Japanese have stopped their attacks down here, but it's still not exactly the ideal situation. We have actually 53 factories, so what I can do after I finish this National Focus Doctrine Effort 2 is go for the 4th research slot, because right now we only have 3, and we're using that on doctrines mostly, and trying to get up our industry. I still am always getting scared by these pop-ups that are happening of low supply. because I think it's like the Japanese doing something diplomatically against us. So we've managed to push them back from this side of the river a little bit more. Looks like this is one province. I will try to make an attack against the forest. There's 3 Japanese divisions down here, which means that we will probably not be able to break through eventually, but it will keep them occupied here, and will give our troops over here time to recover. We are missing equipment, tactical bombers, because we're starting to take losses in our air force, but I'm not concerned by that. These are just old planes that I don't really care about. I will actually keep attacking here because these divisions are low on organization, because I'm guessing they're very low on supplies around here. Yes, they are low on supply because of the infrastructure of this province being fairly bad. So I will at least keep them occupied and unable to regain their organization. Now, down here is definitely worrisome. Shandong situation will have to be addressed. They are likely just preparing an attack. They're actually just planning right now. So I will definitely want to send in more reinforcements to them. These 3 divisions in Nanning will definitely help in the defense. They will likely break through this sort of first line, which is a bit of a shame. I actually will send it. I'm really scared about this, in case you don't know. I'll actually take 6 divisions off the north and redeploy them down here, because it's just so very scary. If the Japanese break through these two provinces, are pretty much my best bet to hold them. It's very unfortunate that they were able to push past these 2 provinces down here, because these are hills, and hills are much better at defense than these plains down here. But at least in QingDao, the actual province that I don't want them to capture, I do have city, which does give me bonuses to defense. As you can see, the attack is 70%, so they will not be quite as effective. Now, these divisions are still fighting, but I don't really want that to happen. So these troops have repelled the Japanese attack over here now. Am I actually planning any attack over here? Yeah, it does look like we have a plan, but I don't really have any planning bonus. So what I will do is, I kind of want to take all the troops and just make an offensive line over here, just so they get a planning bonus eventually. They will start planning just now, because the more planning I get, the more bonus I will get in fighting. Even just in attacks that I order myself and not part of the AI's actual plan, I will gain a bonus. So we have managed to complete Doctrine Effort 2, and I will go for the 4th research slot, which is going to be excellent news for me once I get it. Now, I do believe I can make an attack against this one province down here. Yes, against this Marine Division. Now, Germany withdraws advisors. Germany has caved into Japanese diplomatic pressure and have decided to withdraw their military advisors from our country. Von Falkenhausen has promised that at a farewell dinner that you will not reveal any of our battle plans to the Japanese, but the end of German support is sure to hurt our military. So I hope that later this will not mean that the Germans also withdraw their divisions that we sent in. I definitely care about their divisions more about than their advisors, because right now, having had these 2 doctrine efforts completed, I will have a pretty huge bonus to my doctrine gain. Anyway, so it looks like the Germans are attempting an assault against the Japanese positions over here, and I will provide support from the flank to gain a... actually, these are the Soviets. I will provide support from the flank to gain the attacking from multiple directions modifier. They unfortunately do not have the combat width. It looks like to join the fight, so they will have a 4% chance of reinforcing the front line. I hope that the Soviets will not stop the attack before I can do that. So thankfully, at least this attack over here is going very well, and it's going to be distracting some Japanese troops from the east side of this river. And it looks like we've also managed to push up in this province, which is just fine. Hold on. Okay, was just checking something. We've got also another attack over here that's going fairly well. I will bring in some more divisions in the fight. We have a lot of troops that aren't really fit for fighting, so I will stop the attack with them so that more divisions that are fresh and have more organizations will be allowed to join the fight from the combat with, and also so that these troops can regain their organization. It will not really hurt our attack that much because of the fact that those divisions were at very low organization anyway. So this attack over here is also not going too well against these 6 Japanese divisions, but they are very low on organization, and I do have some support coming in the form of these troops. So I will send them into the fight, and I will keep these other 5 divisions. I will have them regain their organization. I'll also send in a cavalry division from the flank to act as a additional support. Actually, these troops belong to another front. I will actually reassign them to my field marshal over here. So we're starting to gain some planning bonus, I think. Yeah, we're starting to gain a little bit of planning bonus across the board. So the Japanese are attacking over here, and as you can see, QingDao, as expected, is doing fairly well because our AI has decided to overstack it a little bit. We have 13 divisions in reserve, which we don't really need. But over here, it's not going too well because of the plains, which doesn't really offer us any defensive modifiers. And thankfully, the Japanese have only been attacking with 3 divisions against our 3, which means that thanks to our entrenchment that is quite high, we've managed to at least hold them off a little bit. Now, I will send in some more help in the form of these 3 divisions, which will technically constitute a retreat from here, but since we have other troops, we'll be fine. And we will be able to stop the Japanese attack that in its tracks. As you can see, it's starting to go much better for us. The Japanese should definitely be focusing their attacks against this province instead of actually QingDao, the city, because of the fact that if they do manage to break through here and encircle us, it doesn't really matter how much defense we will have. We will have much more problems than what we can do. Now, I have a lot of army experience from fighting this much, the Japanese, but right now I have a little bit of trouble with production. I definitely have a shortage in infantry equipment, so I cannot really go for the support equipment that I would like to edit my troops with engineers, which would be very helpful against the Japanese. So the Germans looks like are starting to make an attack against these troops, and I will help them out. I'll also send in this cavalry from the flank to gain a attacking from multiple directions modifier. I've also got some extra troops, and I've managed to push up an extra province. The Japanese are also collapsing over here, so that's good. Definitely want to put the pressure on the Japanese on as many fronts as possible. Looks like I have 9 divisions over here that aren't much, so I will attack here in this forest because there's also 9 Japanese divisions that are very low on supplies, so I will eventually defeat those. And I've also got a cavalry division that is helping out here, so that's fine. I will bring up more troops because this one division wasn't really doing anything. I've actually got 5 divisions in Beijing that aren't really doing anything, so I will make an attack over here. The Japanese are attacking from this province to 2 different provinces, so when I go in and attack, you'll get a modifier. No? They should have a modifier that decreases. Oh yeah, in multiple combats. So as you can see, some of their divisions have a lot less attack because they are in multiple combat situations, which means that their strength is essentially diluted, which is a very fancy word. I like fancy words. Now, it doesn't look like our attacks over here will be going too well, unfortunately. But I will keep them going for at least a little bit, because this will distract more Japanese troops from the real fight over here at Beijing. Now, I will not have the strength for a while to push past this river into the Japanese-held Manchuria, but eventually I will have enough troops to pull through, hopefully. So looks like our efforts in QingDao to reinforce the front have pretty much proven successful, and the Japanese don't really have that much fight left in them in this area. They cannot break through in any way, which is really good. Because if they were able to break through, then they would be able to essentially outflank my divisions this way, which is not exactly what I would like to see happen. I'll actually form an offensive line to this province so that my general starts planning, and eventually when it is the time to counterattack down here, I will have a planning bonus to my attack. I do believe it is time to end this episode. Yes, I do believe so. So I will see you in the next episode when we will continue the fight against the Japanese. Looks like the attrition war will be eventually favoring us. We have taken 50,000 losses, and our allies in the Communist Party have taken 5,000 losses, but the more they take, the better, because eventually we will be fighting them. Anyway, also 52,000 Japanese losses make me happy, make me severely happy. Yeah, as long as the Japanese aren't allowed to make any sort of flanking with naval invasions, we will probably be able to eventually overwhelm them in the Manchurian front, just through sheer superiority in numbers. And as long as our doctrines over here get upgraded as soon as possible. Actually, this doesn't look like a very good tree. It's only got 5. It's only got 5 doctrines. We will gain infantry recovery rate, organization for motorized and infantry, and infantry combat with human wave offensive. So it looks like there are only 5. There's only 5 techs over here, but they're very powerful. So at least we will be able to do that. Yeah, we won't be really too powerful late game, but at least compared to like over here, Grand Battle Plan, which gets like 7 new doctrines, and especially firepower focus. Firepower focus is really good. But yeah. War tension is at 42%. Just as a conclusion to the episode, let's see what the world is up to. Looks like the Germans haven't really been up to much in Europe. They haven't annexed Austria. They're going for army innovations, so it looks like they're focusing more on their internal politics for now. The British doesn't look like they've done anything. Nationalist Spain is just focused on finishing the war. The Soviet Union hasn't really done much. They're going for progress cult, which is down here, so they're also going for internal pressure. So who's been generating all the world tension? Essentially just our war and the Chinese Civil War. So yes, I believe that is the conclusion of the episode. What is the United States up to? Escort effort. Boring. The United States is always boring. And no real change in anyone else's focuses. So yes, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you at the next episode, which will be recorded right after this one. And yes, I'll see you soon.